Hi everyone, welcome to another Paradise tutorial commentary. Today I'm going to take a break from looking at Woodpow's games and actually look at my own games. I am playing Protoss at high diamond level, top 8, and I'm going to show you a PvT build called the Naniwa Build, named after Naniwa because he used it in almost all of his PvT matches at MLG Dallas. Where it worked quite well because he never lost a single game to a Terran. He went 23-2 at that event, and the only losses were to other Protosses in the final, I think. So I'm going to be showing you a PvT build. Now this was from the ladder. My opponent's a diamond level random player, so I didn't actually know he was Terran at this stage. Which is why you'll see my pylon go down at the wall, and you'll see me pylon scout. Normally with this build, you'd put your pylon close to the rest of your structures, and you would not scout until the gateway. But again, because he's random, I needed to change it up just to be sure. I didn't know at this point that it was going to be the Naniwa build. Okay, so the main concepts of the build at this stage: 9 pylon, 12 gate. Use your first 3 chrono bursts on your nexus. We'll get through some of the other stuff as we go along, but it's 12 gates, so it'll be me putting it down now. 14 gas, 17 core, 19 zealot. Still scouting at this stage. This is the ladder, so he could have been close positions, but he isn't. I now know he's a Terran, so I'm thinking, okay, this could be the Naniwa build. At this point I wasn't sure. Now the only thing that's going to decide whether I do this or whether I go 3-gate robo is whether he's walled off. This build doesn't work very well against Terrans that have walled off. Fortunately there are a lot of Protoss builds that do, such as Stargate builds, 3-gate robo. So once you've figured that out, you can make that decision, and it's pretty standard up until that point. Alright, I've scouted him and I know that he hasn't walled off, he's got a Rax and a gas, so this is a good candidate for the PvT Naniwa build. Okay, core's going down on 17, I'm a couple of seconds late, so it's on 18, and I wanted to start a zealot on 19. Now one of the strengths of this build is it doesn't sacrifice any economy. I haven't had to cut probes at any point, and that's pretty good for a pressure Protoss build. It's not quite as strong as the 4-gate in terms of being able to put pressure on. A typical PvT 4-gate, you might have a zealot and 6 stalkers in the pressure. This, you'll have 6 units. You'll have a zealot, a sentry, and 4 stalkers. But it's so much less. It's so much better economically that slightly reduced army is a fantastic trade in my opinion. Okay, so at 22 your second gate goes up. Once your zealot finishes, you start the sentry. What you're trying to do, keep on 1 gas. You're trying to get to about 100 gas at the time the second gate finishes. That's also going to be the time that the sentry finishes, and then you produce your first 2 stalkers. Keep chrono boosting the core the whole time as well, it's very important. Now you build the 26 pylon to take you to 34 supply, goes in your base. It's the next one, the 42 one, that you put in a proxy position. That's where you get your last 2 stalkers from. And you can see now, I'll just switch it over to the production tab so you can watch it a little bit more carefully in case I miss anything. 2 stalkers are being built. If I chrono boost this core again, hopefully I do. Yep. Then these 2 stalkers should finish at about the time warp gate finishes. I move out, warp in 2 stalkers in the proxy. And the next step with the Naniwa build is up to you. So you end up with about 400 minerals once this finishes, and you can see these timings are very precise. Start moving out and start the warp in. You can choose to expand. In my case I chose to get a robo bay down, just because I don't want to lose to some random cloak banshee or something. If the pressure is successful, I want to be safe against that. So I have got 4 stalkers, zealot sentry, and I was a little bit slow moving out, so I'm actually going to have time to get 2 more zealots to aid the push, I think. Yep, I just played this game on the ladder, so I still remember it quite well. send the zealots up first, and this is an easily sufficient force to take out the bunker. The other thing is your sentry's got 100 energy, so you can put down 2 force fields if he's in place to repair, but my opponent in this case wasn't. Okay, now I can start slicing them up. No problem there, easily winning. He did have a single Reaper, but I whooped in a couple of Stalkers that took care of that. And he was going 2 racks factory starport, but the pressure applied by this build was enough to just flat out win. It's your choice what you do with the sentry. If he's trying to repair his bunker, then force fields are good, otherwise a Guardian Shield is just fine. And my macro has slipped at this point horrendously because I know that I've actually won the game. He is completely dead. It's 25 probes to 12 SCVs. Back at home I should start an observer just to be 100% safe. Yep, I do, but he's GG'd. So I hope that was helpful. As you can see, that push is really powerful for the time that it hits. Almost as strong as a 4-gate, but leaves you much better off economically. If the Terran is defending extremely hard with multiple bunkers or something like that, then you can pull back and expand. Pull back, expand. In that case you wouldn't have to worry about the robo because you could see how many units he had, so you know that cloaked banshees weren't immediately a threat. And that's pretty much it. That's the build in its core. It doesn't always work with the pressure, but it usually does some damage, or if it doesn't, you're far ahead economically because you've got the expansion down well before the Terran has. With the upcoming patch changes, this build is obviously going to change a little bit because there's going to be 20 seconds extra on warp gate timing. Don't quite know what that will do yet. The build will probably have to be re-evaluated. Alright, thanks everyone.